Welcome to Mental as Anyone.
I didn't know I'd be sitting here in a wig talking about mental health. Because anybody who's tuning in is going, yeah, this bitch got the answer.
I'm your host, JMO, and in this series we explore mental health.
If this is what life's going to be, I don't want to be here.
The battles, the triumphs, and the strategies to deal with mental health in a healthy way.
We are born and we are just told stories upon stories upon stories about how to live our life, and no one knows.
I'm the first to know that's not easy, having battled on my own journey. Now, I'll be speaking with others who are ready to share their own insights and lessons.
You know, you try to bury it, keep busy, and then all of a sudden it just swallows you whole.
This podcast is specifically designed to support you on your own journey. So join me as we learn together that we are mental as anyone.
You're out there, and every night you have to prove that you deserve to be there.
BYD isn't just powering this podcast. For nearly 3 years, it's been redefining the way I drive. It brings me peace of mind. I just charge it at home, no more detours to the petrol station. And the way it drives, so smooth and has instant power when you need it. It's got all the space, all the tech, and I feel good knowing it's better for the environment too. If you're even a little bit curious, check out the links in the show notes, and thanks BYD for helping bring Mental as Anyone to life. This episode is proudly brought to you by Chemist Warehouse, your go-to destination for all things health and well-being. From essential vitamins and supplements to skincare and fitness products, Chemist Warehouse offers everything you need to stay balanced and healthy. Plus, they're committed to supporting your health journey with affordable, high-quality products. Visit chemistwarehouse.com.au to explore their extensive range and take your next step in your well-being. He's a champion swimmer. He is a singer. He is now a stage performer. Cody Simpson's on Mental as Anyone. Mate, how are you? He's
I'm
also
well.
someone I've known for many, many, many years.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you, more importantly?
Doing really well. Yeah, I've just opened the show here on the harbour, which has just been a ball. We're 4 shows in of about 27 or 28 we have to do this month. And it's been nice. I haven't spent this much time accumulatively in Sydney, maybe ever. So it's quite nice. I'm like getting to know a new city, and it's great. Yeah.
The whole basis of this podcast is that we're all mental in our own way. Hence, Mental as Anyone.
Yeah.
So I'd love to talk to you today about.
We're all a little spicy in our own way.
Yeah. It's a nice way to look at it.
I heard this term the other day, neurospicy.
Yeah.
A cousin of mine, she's a psychologist. She's like, we're using the term neurospicy a lot these days. And I'm like, that's definitely me.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, for sure.
How do you relate to that?
I don't know. I think, I wouldn't say like I've necessarily dealt with any, specific, I suppose, issue, in regards to mental health, but I could say that I am certainly a little neurospicy. It's like I just, the way I approach life, and I guess the upbringing I've had has like caused me to live and think in, ways that may be less conventional. And but I love that about myself, and I like appreciate and have zero regrets around, the way my life and my upbringing has like made me the way I am, because I wouldn't have it any other way. Like if I had to do it again, I'd do it all the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It hasn't been conventional.
No.
Yeah. Let's talk through that. So for you, it started at 12, releasing music, doing covers, chucking them online. Was it 12 roughly?
Yeah, I would have been 12 when it started, and it happened very fast. I was 12 when I started, and I was still 12 when I was being approached by music producers and label execs over in the US. I'm pretty sure I was still 12 when I went to the US for the first time, because I remember turning 13 in New York City in 2010.
10?
Yeah. Which is wild, doing my first like trip over to the States to meet some people, and just absolutely mad.
And then you went on this whirlwind, crazy journey of pop star / Hollywood / fame life.
Yeah, yeah.
and you're a very chilled guy. From my deal, I mean, having
Thank
known
you.
you for many, many years, you're just sort of like, yeah, I'm chill.
Yeah, I think, well, I suppose maybe externally, I think, yeah, no, I suppose for the experiences I've had and the life that I've had of sort of just grown to become this way, just because whether it's whether it is a chilled or a relaxed thing, or whether it's just kind of like a nothing could really phase me now kind of thing, like either way, I'm certainly try to approach things with a sense of calm, because I've been through major successes and failures, and just been on a roller coaster from a very young age, and have had to kind of learn to not get swept up in, or as much in, the highs or the lows, because they both can sort of take you for a spin, if you're not careful. And I've certainly been victim of super high highs and super low lows, and so I try to sort of approach them both the same way now. There's some quote, there's a part of a Rudyard Kipling poem where it says, to meet triumph and disaster and to treat both imposters just the same, or the same way. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but and I really, really, really relate heavily to that, because like life is so much about how we perceive it, and it isn't about what happens to us, but how we respond to what happens to us that sort of really shapes our experience of life. So I've just tried to really learn to cultivate, a healthy response to success or failure, because I've had my fair share of both. And, it's just sort of taken years, I guess, to learn that and to build that. But I feel like I'm in a place now where I'm able to, I don't get as swept either direction. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. It's, but it certainly feels healthier to me. Yeah.
Was there a point that you were like, I'm learning the lesson now? Or looking back, you go, that was where I learned that lesson? I was in the midst of something? Or
I think it was going through things I went through as a teenager, with my sort of success and, quote unquote fame very young, and experiencing all of that, and then kind of getting carried away in the trappings of and the temptations of Hollywood and the lifestyle that, surrounds that, and the freedom and autonomy that's probably far too available to someone that young, before your brain chemistry is really developed, and before you have a chance to figure out and understand who you are. The world sort of sees you, and it's kind of like, for a while there, it was almost like having, your 13-year-old like Facebook profile, like just on Google Images, like, and still is that way for me. Like I have my whole upbringing is documented in some way, shape or form. And so, I've had to learn to be okay with that. And that's just sort of helped me grow and become stronger as a person, because you have to learn acceptance and of all the phases of your life that have sort of made you who you are. But coming back to your original question, I think it would have been when I started to get older and to realize that I needed to start taking control of myself and my life, and then going into swimming was super sobering for me, literally and metaphorically, knowing that was something I wanted to do, that almost was able to lift me out of this other thing that I felt maybe stuck in at that time. And so that was a huge change for me, of going, I want to do that for this next phase of my life, and it's going to be great for me in more ways than one. Was a huge shift, and taught me a lot of strength, and helped me build and cultivate healthier habits, and like a new sort of renewed sense of discipline as well, to like towards my life, because I think I'd just like lost a little bit of I've always had a great work ethic, but I just think I'd lost a little bit of like who I was. Yeah.
So you don't drink? Or is
Oh,
that because you're competing?
Yeah,
and
it was
stuff
because
like
I'm competing. Like I certainly don't drink anywhere near the way I used to. Nowadays, I might have a couple drinks a month. Like it's very scaled back from when I was young. But like
Yeah,
everyone
same
goes
for everyone,
through
really.
those years. Teens, early 20s are usually a bit crazier for everyone. But I guess I just had it magnified by the lifestyle and everything that was available to me at the time. And there's a really interesting theory around fame being just like a dopamine flood, and that happening too young to people can really fry your sort of receptors and sense of like normal life and what the way you should feel all the time. And I think that's why a lot of young people that have experienced that quite young end up trying to do fall into drugs or do fall into alcoholism or some other forms of addiction, is because they're trying to chase this high that they were like sort of given so easily so young, that now all of a sudden real life doesn't meet that level.
Yeah.
And so I think like the swimming thing really like helped me bring the whole thing back to a more sustainable and healthy kind of level for me, as opposed to always trying to chase like a certain thing.
What does fame feel like? Or what did fame feel like?
A bit of a drug, honestly. Like that's sort of all I can really describe it as, is like you get these hits and then when you're not getting it, you're like wondering what's wrong with you, and like you want it again. And especially when you're young and like you go up on stage and thousands of people like screaming your name and all this stuff, and then you go back to sort of the peace and quiet of your own house. Like post-tour depression was very real. I remember coming home from like a 6-week run in Europe, just having like an unreal time, knowing I was going to get that rush every night on stage, and then coming home and sitting in my living room and just like bursting into tears and just wondering what was like wrong with me. And I was going, oh, my brain's not getting this right now. It's like, down here. And so it's a weird thing. There's not really like anything available to people to learn how to deal with that. It's just like you just, thrown into it. And then when it's over, or it just sort of either continues until it crashes and burns, or it's, or it fizzles out and you're kind of like left in the, what feels like the abyss. And you're like, what,
You've articulated that beautifully, and a lot of people really struggle to use words to explain that. It's a question that you probably get a lot, and a lot of people that have had that fame when they were younger.
It's literally just a brain chemistry thing. Like it's the same as anything else that, can spike your dopamine or flood your dopamine. I would call it more flooding than spiking,
What's your drug now?
Exercise, fortunately. Swimming like helped me so much, like sort of replace things. And not that I was ever like an addict in it to anything unhealthy, but I was certainly a bit of a partier at one stage. Sure. But I've been able to find much healthier habits now through exercise. And I've done a lot of research into the way the body and mind, and trying to think of the body and the mind as one vessel that I think we constantly always talk about mental health and physical health as different things, when really, like, if you kind of look at the anatomy of the human body, you'll see like the brain and the nervous system is all one, it's all connected. And so I find and have found so much positive help in just hacking my biology through exercise. And even like, sounds like cheesy, but like sauna, ice bath, like contrast therapy, all that stuff is so helpful, and can affect my brain in such positive ways that like lift me out of certain funks. And so I try and just think of it all as one thing now that, you know, a healthy body is a healthy mind and a healthy mind is a healthy body kind of thing. Yeah.
And I think that does come with age.
Absolutely.
How do you make sure that you don't go to the extreme of, you know, because competitive sport means that you're in that pool or you're running that track or you're at the gym or you're doing whatever and you're doing it.
Oh yeah, it's like over the line of what would be perceived as healthy, you know. I was like tracking, you know, I would track would have to kind of track my my markers from like heart rate variability and, you know, my sleep and all that stuff, like for my recovery and all that stuff. And it's funny how like low my HRV was, which is sort of like a good measure of how recovered you are. Compared to when I retired, like it just went, I didn't even know it could go back that high. And I was going, I was beaten down like all the time. So we would certainly go like way beyond what's considered healthy. And I've kind of had to almost like relearn how to exercise and find like a balance again and not like feel like I have to just murder myself every time I go to the gym or something like that, or even like have to scale back a form of intensity in anything I do because it's not like sustainable. Yeah, it was like a weird thing to have to kind of like become adjusted to again, and knowing that days off are okay, days where I don't feel like I'm progressing are okay, even though I still struggle with them. I have the kind of personality where I feel like every day has to be spent towards working towards something or moving forward in some way. I can't really have more than a day or two where I'm not doing something that feels like me working towards something a dream or a desire or even just a better version of myself, or like, you know what I mean? Like it's like a weird thing. So I've had to really do a lot of work on being okay with stillness. And
so what work is that? Is that with therapy? Is that with talking to your partner? Is that through family? I don't know.
Meditation's been huge for me. Like just a daily practice, whether it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just like learning that just literally sitting still, being present, observing, using mindfulness is totally okay, and not doing it because I want to, just doing it to do it, not doing it because I want to use it for the benefit of continuing to move forward, like just literally using it because it's good for me to learn to sit still.
Sitting still is tough for me.
Yeah. But I find that having learnt how to literally sit alone in a room with my thoughts for an extended period of time has like positively benefited so many other parts of my life, and my patience and presence and all these kind of things has been really good. And then also like forcing myself to have a day where I'm not going to do one thing that feels like progress today. I'm going to just enjoy being alive and being with my friends and, you know, doing something that, you know, may be completely arbitrary or whatever, you know, and just like trying to actually enjoy that. It's weird. It's like takes practice, and it's weird for me to say that out loud, but it's like the personality that I guess, have conditioned myself to have for whatever reason. And I'm like learning to try and just be a little less that way. I don't know. Yeah.
You mentioned there was a word in the Rudyard Kipling.
Yudruyd Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling.
Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling.
Yep.
Clipping.
Close enough.
Whatever.
Close enough.
I'm losing my mind. Anyway, there was a word in that quote that you mentioned that piqued my interest because it's something that I live with every day. Imposter.
Yep.
What you seem like a very confident person, and you seem very calm. I always feel like I'm an imposter. A lot of people talk about imposter syndrome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question. I have had my share of experiencing imposter syndrome, being someone that has entered into or re-entered into different fields that, you know, are quote unquote new, such as my shift and return to sport, and then my now, return to performing and musical theater, and entering communities that are established already and have their, perceived cliques or
Yeah.
and going, oh, I'm the new guy here, will they accept me? Am I?
Well, you're not just a new guy. You're the new guy who's competing to be in the Olympics, and you're the new guy who's competing in the biggest stage production in Sydney right now.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah. But
in the
just feeling
lead.
like, oh, I need, and constantly feel like I need to prove myself to I guess, one, feel accepted, and then two, rid myself of any imposter syndrome feeling that I have. And so I've certainly felt and still occasionally feel that way. But I think, and I've tried to reframe it as it being a good thing, because it means you are, one, either trying something new and pushing towards getting better at something new, which is a great thing. And, our brains are sort of taught to feel afraid of change and or any hardship, or learning a new skill is frustrating.
Stepping outside
and
your
so
comfort
your brain's
zone,
going to tell you, what are you doing? Like, you were okay over here. Like, this is scary. This is different, But then you find, like, if you just keep moving forward towards that, like, that door opens, and the room is often like lovelier and bigger and more beautiful than the one you were in before, So I, have tried to reframe it as it being a good thing, because it means I'm entering a discomfort zone, which hopefully will eventually be a comfort zone or a new comfort zone, which is great. And then two, realizing that everyone feels that way, I think very few people are that secure in themselves as to believe that they're not somewhat of an imposter at some point, or at some time. So just going in, accepting that we're all in the same boat is good and healthy, I think.
I'm really excited to share something very special with you. I've always been open about my personal struggles, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. And now I've put it all into my book, Mental as Anyone. It's raw, it's real, and full of the lessons I've learned, alongside some expert wisdom from Dr. Jody Lowinger to help you navigate your own mental health journey. The book hits shelves in all good bookstores nationally on June 25, but you can pre-order it right now on Amazon. The link is in the show notes. This book means the absolute world to me. I hope it helps you too.
How are you feeling about this, about Guys and Dolls right now? The reviews have been amazing.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, they've really been good. I learned so much through swimming, or relearned so much through swimming, in that confidence comes from being prepared. And so I just over prepared the shit out of myself for this role. And this, even the audition, like, I was like, heard it was coming out, I was so ready to go into that room and get this thing. Like, I was, that then I wasn't that nervous, because I felt so, and even on opening night, I wasn't that nervous, because like I felt so prepared and capable for what I was going out there to do, that I wasn't afraid of like a bad review. I wasn't really afraid of, because even if I did get one, I'd be like, I feel really good about what I'm doing, so what does it matter what they think, So I've just been having the time of my life up there, and we're sort of recapturing, a passion has been really exciting. Like, and seeing it all come together, and to get that, and to get the reward of others loving it and accepting me back into this space has been really exciting too. But also the most important thing has just been like the amount I've been enjoying it, even more so than I expected I would. It's been really cool.
Validation, though, is nice to know that.
Yeah, it is,
say to
for
people,
sure.
yeah, I'm not just a pretty boy. No, I'm not just some dude that whatever. Like,
Yeah.
this is legit, and I'm meant to be here, and this is like, I've earned this. And
Absolutely. And the whole cast and everyone has just been so accepting. And I think the fact that, squashing any kind of idea that I was sort of like just given the part, was because I went through the exact same audition process as any and every other person in the show, and went through multiple rounds of auditions and callbacks and chemistry reads, and really felt like I earned my place in there. It was really,
It does look like from the outside in, though, Cody, that anything you put your mind to, you can do at the top level. So you could turn around next
I don't know
week.
about ballet or like cooking or
Right. It might. You
but
could
the
turn
things
around,
I love,
you could turn around to me next week and say, Jamo, I'm just auditioned for this Hollywood gig. And then a week later be like, yeah, I'm in this new Marvel film and it's the lead. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, cool. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean that with respect.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of shooting for the stars.
No.
A lot of people, myself included, can let their fear get in the way of.
Right. And I it's not that I'm not scared, and I wouldn't say I'm fearless in the true sense of the word, but I would say that I've found a way to do things scared. And so I'm fearless because I can do things while being full of fear, I guess, and just like, do it, like scared, do it anyway, I think that that's such a great skill to learn. I feel really fortunate that I've learned that. And so feel like things I'm passionate about, I will apply myself in a way that will allow me to be able to do it. And I'm a very all or nothing person. So if I'm going to do something, I really
You're not even
do
bloody
it all
30.
the way.
This is shit. Bugger off. Get out of here.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, so I'm just excited to continue applying myself to things I love, and I feel really happy that my swimming chapter is closed, because I feel like it was like a real itch on my back that I really needed.
It's closed fully?
Yeah. I can't see myself going back. I was really excited to start working in entertainment again, and working on my music and doing, looking at projects, because swimming is like, if you're swimming, you just can't do anything else. And I feel like I got what I wanted to out of it. I didn't think there was anything. If I did another 4 years, I don't know if there's anything that I would get out of it for myself that I didn't already the last 4 years. Like, I proved to myself what I wanted to prove to myself, and now I feel like I can move on without any what ifs.
So you think you got what you needed to out of you?
Yeah, I think I got what I wanted to, or I proved to myself what I wanted to prove to myself in the pool, and it feels very freeing because I can now move into my other passion and feel like the curiosity's been satisfied, and I can now move forward at full speed with the other things I love to do.
And what are those things? Tackling Mount Everest?
Yeah,
playing the lead in a Marvel.
Acting's a big one. I enjoy it a lot, and I do have projects. I've shot a part in a series for Stan, which is coming out this year, which is cool. And then this fun little cameo in this Netflix film, which is also coming out this year. I don't think I can say anything else about him yet, but that's been really fun to do the screen acting and also stage acting. I really enjoy also. So gonna continue to work on those. But music is still and always will be primary for me. And I spent a month in LA in Jan working on a ton of new stuff. I'm going to go back over there after Guys and Dolls is done and continue working on it, and start looking at putting together a new project and making the comeback to music, which is exciting for me. That's going to be sort of the number one focus.
That's what
for the
drives
next
you.
year. Yeah. That's what really tickles the
Creativity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I want to just touch base on probably one main topic before we sign off, and that is social media.
Yeah.
You rose through the ranks as a kid, and it was untested waters, really.
I came around it was coming up at the birth of social media.
Facebook.
Really, I was literally discovered on MySpace, which is, you know, OG social media.
It's an interesting time. There's that show that everyone's talking about at the moment, Adolescence. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. No.
And it's about a kid in the UK. It's brilliant. It's all shot in one take, and it's about this 13-year-old kid who's accused of killing a classmate. And but at the center of that is the discussion around social media and kids having access to social media and what social media does to kids, but also the language that kids use on social media.
Yeah.
Like there's this whole world of language that we may not understand, that I'm only just learning through reading articles about it.
Yeah.
You know, that incel behavior, that Andrew Tate sort of bullshit.
Yeah. It
Fascinating.
gives rise to a lot of strange like microcosms of thinking and ideology and all that stuff. And it also sort of gives kids a barrier between themselves and
The real world.
the real world, not learning how to socialize with people, or, you know, feeling like they can bully without repercussions, or, you know, it's a weird place, man.
So what's your relationship with social media today, given how calm you are? Like you have, I don't even know how many followers you have on there, but probably a lot. And do you go on there often? Do you respond to people when they message you? For me, I see my social media as pretty much a work tool. Like I use Instagram to let people know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let people know about the podcast, let people know an article that I've done or about the radio show or whatever. Facebook is more about keeping in touch with friends. I'm old enough to still be on Facebook.
Yeah.
You?
I'm on Instagram. Instagram's probably the only one that I go on or check daily, because it's where my friends are, and it's also where I share the most of my work and what I'm doing. Like I share a little bit of personal life, mostly stuff, you know, mostly as you said, like about what it is I'm doing, and it being a way to promote those things, you know. It's great being a musician, but if no one hears it, you know, you can't make it, you know, you can't make a living from it. And in an ideal world, I'd love it to be the only thing I do. So therefore I need to promote it and, you know, make a living from it. So social media is the tool to do that these days. It's also where kids are, and most young people are. Most young people aren't watching TV or
A lot of
listening
people
to the
use the
radio
words
or-
love, hate. They have that sort of
Yeah.
love. I have it as well. And I get anxiety. I don't really give a shit how many people are following me or whatever, but I know that my book's coming out in a couple of months, and I'm like, I've got to promote that. I've
Like,
got to
have
sell
I done enough? Have I
I've got to
done
sell
enough
myself.
posts? Have I done? Yeah, like
Pre-sales are on now, so I've got to let people know that it's there. Can you please buy the book?
yeah,
That stuff. It's a very weird.
yeah, not wanting to feel like it feels like I feel a bit sick when I'm like, my song, buy my, you know, do this. Like it's a weird push and pull
Consume me.
between. Yeah, exactly. It's like a weird thing to feel like you have to do that. So it's just finding a way to do it that like suits you, I guess. And I think I've found a balance between, you know, not having it not run my life, but just using it as a tool for what I want, and also to stay in touch with and connect with people that, you know, I can't see all the time. But for the most part, I just like text or call. I'm not really like a Snapchatter or anything like that. Yeah.
I would look like a dickhead doing those stupid TikTok dances and stuff.
Yeah.
I just feel
Yeah.
no.
I only started like getting on the TikTok literally last year, just as a way to put music related stuff up. Because prior to that, I didn't even know how to use it. So
You sound like
I'm
you're
hip.
my age.
I'm hip now. I'm
Yeah.
on the
You're You sound old.
I know. I'm getting younger. I went through my grandpa years. I was just like, nah, I can't, you know, and I've now been like, you know what? I think I need to get on these things and like at least embrace them in some
Probably
way.
because you were so caught up
where the world
earlier
is.
in the spiral of everything that then you had to push it away for a while.
I
and now
did.
come back to
I
it.
really did. Yeah, I had to. And swimming like almost allowed me to like from the entertainment industry as a whole, like come back to it, feeling it quite young again and seeing it in a new light, and coming back on my own terms and being excited to be a part of it again, because I think I was just stale before. So having had, 4 years of like relative removal from it in a completely different community and world and state of mind and everything that is elite sport, it was like really refreshing to be able to come back and be excited to go back to LA and excited to go in the studio and like feel like I did when I was 14 going over there. So that's been really refreshing for me. Like it's just feeling like a kid again and feeling like I'm entering a genuine brand new chapter,
I've been thinking, I couldn't help but think throughout this conversation that you had that Hollywood fame, fashion, red carpet, and you still wear designer labels and you do all that fun stuff, but you do it on your terms. Now you live, when you're not in that world, you live in a suburban house, a normal life. I know your family, they're gorgeous. I'm friends with them.
Yeah.
You kind of couldn't be as far away as, it couldn't be further away from that world that we once saw you in.
Yeah, it's nice to have both, I guess, and be able to come and go from it as you like. I feel really grateful that I can do that, and go into it but then not be in the world, but not of the world, and then be able to remove and, it's better. It's much better. And I think I found a lot of Australian celebrities or people in entertainment or whatever eventually find a way to do that, like I've seen and spoken to a few, and like seeing the way people kind of come and go from the States and have their thing here that they can go to and just feel like a normal person. I feel like back here, and I was like, people kind of, they might see you around, but it's not the same way. Like they'll say, hey, love your work or whatever. And then like, that's it. People are more respectful here and will allow you to go to the beach, like with your kids, and like not bug you.
I didn't know you had
kids. No. The ones that do, like, but when I do, like I'll feel like I can have some, give them hopefully more normal of an upbringing than I had, So, yeah.
You want them to have a normal upbringing?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if they wanted to do what you did?
I wouldn't stop them, but I'd probably try and delay it as long as I could, at least past those teen years. Because I'd be like, I just think it's better for their development. Not that I turned out like shit or anything, but like I just would want them to be able to go to high school and have all that, that normalcy. Yeah.
Before we finish up, final question on a scale of
tattoos, by the way. I've never really seen all
got
these
so
before.
many random.
They're so cool.
Yeah, just random little
Love
things.
it. Anyway,
before we finish up, final question: scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely shit house, which I know you're not, and 10 being extraordinary. Where are you at today?
just on my
Yeah, how you
personal
feeling?
level, I reckon I'm probably at like a 5 or a 6, if I'm honest. Yeah,
So that's
just right in the center.
yeah.
Yeah.
So not euphoric, but not
No,
shit.
yeah. I
But is that
found
because you're
it's because I'm doing the show at the moment.
and you're a bit tired.
So I
but
find
you're
like
busy.
when I'm on stage, I'm like at that 10, and I'm like almost having to allow myself to like not be there until that time. So like, and because I find it really hard to wind down after, and I'm sleeping till, I'm getting home from the show at like 11:30, and I'm sleeping from 2 till 10 or 10:30, whatever, and having to like allow my days to be pretty, leveled until I have to like get up at night, because I got to be peaking at 9:30 p.m. or whatever it is.
And when you're on stage, you're a 10.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah.
Cody Simpson. I'm not.
Simpson,
I'm
Rubbard Kipping.
Rudded
Kipling.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thanks, mate.
On the podcast. I've been texting your mum trying to get you on. I've been contacting Millie, and finally,
I'm glad we could do it.
We could do it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you.
These conversations
Thank
are
you.
important, and
For sure.
it's just nice to chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it okay for
Thank
you?
It was great. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
This episode is supported by Chemist Warehouse, Australia's leader in health and wellness products. Whether you're looking for natural supplements, fitness essentials, or everyday healthcare, Chemist Warehouse has you covered at unbeatable prices. They're proud to support this podcast and help you take control of your health and well-being. Head to chemistwarehouse.com.au for the best selection of vitamins, wellness products, and more to keep you feeling your best. BYD has taken it to the next level with the all-electric Sea Lion 7, a performance SUV that's as sleek as it is powerful. We're talking quiet luxury, up to 482 kilometers of range, and a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.5 seconds. It's smooth, it's fast, and honestly, sustainability has never looked this good. With 4 luxe colors, including the stunning Shark Grey, this is EV driving elevated. If you're even a little bit curious, check out the links in the show notes. Big thanks to BYD for making this podcast possible. I know firsthand how overwhelming life can get, and I also know how powerful it is when you have the right tools to get you through it. That's why I've written Mental as Anyone, a book filled with real stories, practical strategies, and expert insights to help you manage stress, anxiety, and everything life throws your way. With clinical psychologist Dr. Jodie Lowinger providing her professional insights, it'll be on shelves in all good bookstores nationally on June 25, but you can pre-order it right now on Amazon. The link is in the show notes. If you've ever felt like you're struggling alone, this book is for you. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Mental as Anyone. There's been some heavy insights in there, but also some useful tools for all of us to move forward. If you want to be the first to hear new episodes, be sure to hit follow. And if you find yourself in need of support, links to Lifeline, Beyond Blue, and the Black Dog Institute are in the show notes below. See you later.